Hi, it's Secondz. Here is a bonus presentation that will stand almost as a reply to your job offer. It will really address the things that you've mentioned in your advertisement. So after looking at your proposal and discussing with the team, this is what we can do for you. And we'll start with your email marketing. So we use the following email marketing sequence. It has a lot of industry data behind it, and we've sort of designed it after collecting many other people's strategies and sort of picking the best parts of them. So let me walk you through it. So as you can see, we start with an introduction. This is usually a sort of a thank you for downloading the app. I can see that you kind of already have something like that because I've downloaded your app myself. Next, we go on to educate. This involves describing the app, the competition prizes, the mentors involved, or anything that will really entice the lead or the customer to really use your app regularly. This is especially important because many people may download your app and try it once, but to get them to be a regular customer, they need to be implored to use the app maybe 2, 3, 4, even 5 times until it becomes a habit. After that, we have Inspire. And it's proven time and time again by top universities that the best way to inspire human beings is to tell them a story. And so therefore, this part of the email sequence is riddled with case studies and testimonials of people who have really benefited from your application or your platform. Now, we'd like to look at some email marketing tips, almost like rules of thumb, so that even if you don't go through with us or you don't want to, in a sense, move forward with your application and I guess hire us, then we'll have some brief tips or metrics that you can really measure an employee by. And so the first, as you can see, it says, we should always use the word you, because at the end of the day, all the customer really wants to know is how you can help them. So calling upon them precisely is almost the best way to hold their interest. Next, if you want to inspire people to take actions, you need to use verbs that inspire that action, like click, place, press, swipe. The next, for one of our clients, actually, we distributed random coupons via email every single Monday, and we got this feedback. So one of the customers had said, I get scared not to open any of your emails because I feel like I might miss something. So really what we're doing is we're creating a fear of missing out. We also need to build curiosity. So some examples of almost a title could be like, here's my gift for you, or I dare you not to open this email. So these things may inspire curiosity in the customer or the lead. Similarly, you can pose a question to, in a sense, build curiosity. And so one example may be like, do you know how to make your videos better? So this is not only a question, but actually uses the word you as well. And lastly, as you can see, we have don't use all caps and exclamation marks. I myself am quite hesitant to open any email with caps or exclamation marks. In fact, I usually spam it. This is quite a sleazy type of marketing that we definitely aren't about. Now, in regard to email marketing softwares, this is just a screenshot of the software we use. It's called ConvertKit. It's very similar to MailChimp, except I like the analytics on this platform a lot better. I find it very much easier to report results. But if you have a subscription to MailChimp and you insist on using it, we're happy to learn that one instead. Okay, so the next thing you mentioned and the next thing we will address is influencers. So first of all, I want to say or congratulate you guys on how good it is that you are using influencers. I read somewhere that the average return on investment of a influencer program is 650%. Meaning that for every $1 you are sort of investing into advertising through an influencer, you're predicted to make $6.50 in return. So that's probably the best ROI you'll ever get. But I also read that actually 67% of marketers say that finding the right influencer is actually one of the most difficult challenges there are. And I understand that your business does have some special relationships with some influencers already, which is absolutely brilliant. But I want to tell you some of the ways we use it. Basically, other than just DMing and direct messaging influencers, we use something called Tribe, as you can see here. It's almost a platform that businesses use to basically post offers for influencers. As you can see, you fill out the information about your brand name, your campaign, your product, and you sort of put yourself out there. And then what happens is you can also target certain influencers. As you can see, you can target certain age groups, male, female, and you can really find a specific niche, which is really important. It also has really good monitoring, allowing us to really track the cost per engagement on each post, or the engagement percentage. So we can really find out what influencers actually have the greatest return on investment, maybe even experiment to find those. And what we can do is we can reallocate the budget accordingly to make sure that every dollar of advertising is performing like more than $1 or performing at its peak. Okay, so wrapping up, I will mention some of the other services that you haven't specifically mentioned that you need, but that our agency offers. And it's sort of, most of these things are going to be newer forms of marketing that you may not have considered yet or heard about, because a lot of your competitors, just a lot of businesses in general, are not really using this sort of more sophisticated, more, let's say, new wave type of marketing. So the first is analytics, and that is by me. So I studied Google Analytics, or studied for the Google Analytics certification. I've been using and monitoring Facebook Analytics since a few years ago when it was first made. We also have an exceptional videographer and photographer. Honestly, his camera is almost more expensive than my car. And he has access to a lot of things like actresses, actors, lighting, drones. They can even shoot in like 4K cinema grade quality, which is really good if you ever wanted to put your advertisements before cinemas and before movies at like event cinemas or something like that. We're also capable of setting up a chatbot, as mentioned earlier in the past presentation. And lastly, we have sales funnels. So we use a software called ClickFunnels, which if you bought by yourself would actually cost us $297 a month. And so we're quite confident in making landing pages, which are essentially, we're actually on one right now, but basically a page on the internet that really inspires just one action and one action only. Unlike a website where you could go and press about us or look at products and sort of they're distracting. The landing pages are really designed so that you either take an action or you get off the page. So that's something that's really important. It's a new wave of technology that's coming about, and it's something that we are quite confident in. And lastly, let's address the elephant in the room. So your advertisement was for an employee and we are an entire agency. But I would say that you've asked for a marketing all-rounder. And honestly, with the amount of softwares that you are sort of requesting someone be confident in, and you're also asking for both skills and experience, it may be very difficult to find one person who is essentially an all-rounder in all these things. And to be honest, if you found one, I'd love to know where you got that from, because we've wanted something like that to work for our agency, to be honest. Now, hiring an agency also gets you 4 account managers rather than just like one superhuman, as you sort of requested. And we do offer the skills you requested, but we also offer more. So we have the analytics, as I mentioned, we have the media and the video. We have someone who's marketed for many businesses in the past and is somewhat of a specialist for social media. And lastly, we have a branch development manager with experience organizing and maintaining relationships, both with you and with your desired influencers. And so I know what you're thinking. Shit, I fucked it up. I pressed the button.